And now, a man who masturbates so much, he got a herniated dick. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The treasure got a man to get it on. Thanks for tuning in. We love that about you. Comedian Mike Glazer is here. He's got a stand-up special, Life Rules. Watched it last night. Enjoyed it. Bite-sized, like 36 minutes and maybe a little bit of change from the improv, right? Did that out here?
Hollywood Improv Lab, yeah.
Well, you're a good guy to talk to about this, and you can tell me what you think. I was in Reno last weekend. I did a little pop-in thing at the Laugh Factory or something in Reno, 20 minutes. All the comedians who went up before me were complaining about this one old couple that just sat against the edge of the stage. I didn't really know what they were talking about because I was in the back in the corral. But then when I got on stage, I knew what they were talking about. One old dude, probably 68, 69, with a beard, arms folded, tight, sitting there, stone-faced the entire time, and his wife with a neck brace on.
Fantastic.
Just staring. No facial movement, no nothing. And you take notice, obviously, when you're on stage. You can feel it. And all I said to them is, I don't mind the non-laugh. I had a good set. People were laughing. I don't mind. Why against the edge of the stage? Why do you put yourself here? I have this with all these people. Like, you're coming out. All right, maybe it takes a little more to tickle your funny bone than others. Move it on back into the shadows. There's plenty of room back there. Why do you want to be against the edge of the stage?
Exactly. And every time she laughs in a neck brace, she's holding it and saying, ow, ow, ow. Yeah. Like, what a nightmare.
Yeah, you make her laugh, you get a call from her attorney. Well, that's the whole point. She didn't crack a smile, and he didn't crack a smile. First off, there was female comedians. There was a potpourri of comedians, all different styles. It wasn't like, well, I'm politically against. It wasn't any of that. Everyone's coming from a different position. Everyone's material was totally different. Not a smile. The entire time. Why? With his knees are hitting the edge of the stage.
Yeah.
Why there? Why position yourself there?
Even Shamu has like the splash zone.
Yes, Shamu. Like, you could ask a bigger question. Why are you going to a comedy club on a Sunday night if you just never crack a smile? What are you doing here? But all right, that aside, what are you doing against the edge of the stage?
Absolutely. Also, I guess that's so they don't fight at home. They can just stare straight ahead and not think about their relationship
Probably
for a moment.
Right. No eye contact.
No eye contact. But also, if you're going to go to a comedy show and you are there to not laugh at all, I find that those are the people who will come up to you after the show and be like, we loved it. It was such a great time. At which point you're like, well, then why didn't you show me that? I will make it my job to try and get them to laugh, even if it alienates the rest of the crowd.
Bigger picture, don't you have like a certain discomfort? Like, everyone has been to an event. Could be a funeral, could be some corporate thing, could be something, when you're sitting out there in the audience, right? And then at some point they go, and our number one commercial sales real estate realtor of the year is Betty Fernandez, and everyone just starts clapping, and then you just go, I don't know who this bitch is, but I'm sitting in between people that people seem to be laughing.
Sure. So,
like, I'm an atheist. I've been to enough wakes and funerals and churches and stuff where they're like, all right, now everyone stand up, and you stand, okay, bow your head. I don't go, hey, I'm not down with any of it. I just do it because you're there.
I've been to restaurants with you, and they'll sing happy birthday 5 tables over. We're clapping along.
Happy birthday, clapping along. You're there. You're very visible.
Yeah.
You're against the edge of the stage. How about a little head nod or a little fake laugh or paint a smile on? Yeah. What is that?
I don't know. Also,
but there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. And what are they being sat by the door people? So in which case I would be like, hey, door people, if you see a silent, angry neck brace couple, scoot them into the back.
it's tough to vet them, though,
It's
because
true.
you're walking in. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like maybe you tell them a knock-knock joke or something on the way in to see if we can get a little facial movement or something.
Like they do on like Price is Right or something, where they go and like vet everybody in line to see where they should sit.
Yeah, like name 3 of your top comedians, or something. What's a sitcom you really enjoy?
Yeah.
Like something just to see. So what happens is they sit there, they push against the edge of the stage, they paint on that Easter Island face, and then the comedian starts working the other side of the room. You start floating, you start drifting over to the other side away from them. And then there's some couple sitting next to them that's laughing their ass off, except for you're sort of moved it over because you're no longer, that's a no-fly zone for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even during the Oscars, when you don't get awarded Best Actor or Actress, you stand up and you clap.
You clap. Once in a while, they catch that face.
That's true.
That face. Can I say this? Maybe the bar is set too high for actors and actresses that don't win.
Interesting.
And the reason I say that is because let's just say forget about the Oscars. Let's just say we're talking about 8-year-olds playing soccer, right? And they're now going to name the soccer player of the year for the Toluca Lake Soccer League, 10 years old and under.
All right.
And the moms are in the bleachers. And it's between, Timmy and Stevie and Bradley. If they announced Bradley won, we wouldn't expect a smile to be on the face of the moms of the kid that lost the soccer tournament, even though he's 8 years old. It'd be perfectly natural to go, well, yeah, look at her. Yeah, she's disappointed. Yeah, she wishes. Oscars is a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. Most actors and actresses go their whole career without being nominated. Some nominated for the first time, like at age 67 and a half. Why do they have to spring to their feet and paint a smile on their face? Why? This is a big deal.
Right.
And by the way, it'll translate into millions of dollars.
Yep.
Because once you got that, Oscar, now this movie stars Oscar winner, well, why can't we cut them a little slack? We do it in any other arena.
Absolutely. Oh, were you going to say?
Well, yeah, you're right. In any we're like the March Madness or the NCAA tournament, like the losing team, or even any college team that loses.
Yeah.
The camera's always on the team as they've crumbled to the floor.
There's always the black guy with the towel on his head,
sitting on
sobbing.
the bench, not moving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On the ground, hands on the knees, head between the legs.
Right.
Absolutely.
At some point, they get in the locker room and the guy picks up the Gatorade bucket and chucks it into the lockers. That's how you react.
I want to see that. So Angela Bassett last year, when she lost to Jamie Lee Curtis for Best Supporting Actress, she famously didn't smile or clap.
Yeah.
And then a year later, she did interviews about it, saying, "Yeah, I was disappointed." And I love that. Like, I want to see a real reaction. We all know that the clap is superficial, anyways.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
feel sorry for
Who?
what happened this year. Once in a blue moon, you get a guy or a girl with the same first name. There's 2 of them. So Robert De Niro gets nominated and Robert Downey Jr. gets nominated.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
So if you heard your first name, you know what I mean? Like you're De Niro. And you just hear Robert Downey Jr. Like
Even the D, Robert D.
Yep. One half stand up.
Yeah.
Brutal. Well, so my very first open mic ever in St. Louis, Missouri at the St. Louis Funny Bone. I sign up. I practice in the shower, 3 minutes, whatever. Nervous as can be. I have it all in my head. I sign up, Mike Glazer, and they say, coming to the stage, huge drop in. We're so excited. Please put your hands together for Nikki Glazer. And I'm halfway up the stage and she cuts right around me, crushes for 20 minutes. And then I have to follow her with the same last name, do an awful 3 minutes. And it was devastating, but it was also great. Like,
but
what
you
a lesson.
landed on your feet.
You land on your feet. I think that like anytime, do you, actually, I'd love to ask you this, Adam, like, I feel like the world is sports and I treat the world like it's a sport, highly competitive, winning and losing. And even going on stage, like I want to win the night. Or if I was an actor at the Oscars, I would want to win and I'd be upset when I lose. Is that how you approach life?
I think there's. I'm trying to think. Competitive, not competitive. I'm with you on sports because there's a meritocracy to it, and it's very pure, and that's why we all love it. And I gotta say that, like, when I was doing this drop-in thing in Reno, it's like this comedian, not a household name, like that comedian, not a household name. There's, seasoned people, but not householding namies. And then they go, oh, we got a special treat for you tonight. We got a guy, and his name's Adam Carolla, and he's blah, blah, blah. And then you got this element of, well, you're being highlighted in this group.
You're the all-star.
You know what I mean? Like, you're the all-star. So you need to see if you can be funnier than the people that aren't highlighted. I kind of remember if there's a situation like we did Bobby Kennedy's stand-up benefit
that
or
was
whatever.
Recent.
That was recent.
Yeah.
And they had like 8 really good comedians. And so then you have to deal with this thing of like, people are going to drive home and they're going to rank them.
Yeah.
Because that's how they do it.
Of course.
Everything's like a ranking. And then they'll go, I like that blonde. The blonde girl was the funniest. And then I thought, Rob Schneider, and then Geechee guy. And then I left a space open, and then Adam Carolla. They're going to rank.
Yeah.
So, you want to be on the happy side of the rankings.
Of course.
I guess there's that.
Yeah. I guess for me, I used to feel incredibly competitive with everyone else. And now every time I'm doing anything, I just want to show up as my best. And it's more of a competition with myself, which I think is a better way to at least go through the world, because then I'm making friends and I'm supportive of everyone around me.
Yeah, I think it's the context is a lot of it.
Yeah.
And yes, you should try to compete with yourself and you should try to get better. And you have to kind of decide, like, how good should you be now versus who's around you. And I think I did a professional Trans Am 1 car race a few months ago, or a year and a half ago or something like that. And I was just kind of jumping in someone's car. And
man.
The rest of the guys were on the tour, they're professionals. And so, I wasn't planning on beating the pros, but I was planning on trying to do well for myself. Let's suss up the competition, the experience, like who's around you. I think it's good to be realistic that way. I ended up fucking up and putting the car into a barrier and fucking the car up.
Oh shit!
And I was pissed at myself. And the team around me was actually sort of impressed. They're like, you just jumped in this car and drove it at, sort of on the pace. Long story, water on the track. But the point is yes, you should be in competition with yourself even when you win.
Yeah.
You should still go, there are a few things I could have done better along the way.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. I wonder if that's when those Oscar people lose and they're like, what's the script that's going to get me there? What's the moment? What's the monologue? What do I got to do to win that Oscar finally? And so I do understand when Angela Bassett is like, what more do you want from a legendary career than right now at this moment for me to do more? Like, at what point can you just like not squeeze anything more out of the sponge?
I also feel like white women have to fake it. Black women can just go, fuck this.
That's fucking interesting.
They got an element of like, I've been studying this because I've been noticing, like, if you're a white heterosexual male, you're pretty low down the intersectional totem pole, right?
Yes, there's not much more to be.
There's not many underneath you.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody underneath you, but you're down pretty low.
We invented
right?
fire even supposedly, so.
White males?
I think like cave.
Until notified otherwise, we'll claim all the major inventions.
Understood.
Okay, unless there's something. And by the way, people who aren't white males who try to help their cause, a woman invented whiteout. Oh, she invented liquid paper. Mm-hmm. She invented gesso that you paint with a. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's not exactly Skylab, but okay. Okay, we'll give you that one. We'll give you that one.
Yeah, the mistake fixer, not the
All
net
right.
around
Who
the
guess
sky.
who invented peanut butter? Okay, all right. That's awesome. Good for you. We're moving on. We're building the Hoover Dam, but you guys work on peanuts.
Yeah,
That's
erasers
fine.
or what have you.
So, all right. So here's what I've noticed, and I think it's a thing, and I don't know why it wouldn't be a thing, which is heterosexual white dudes are at the bottom of the sort of intersectional pole. So there's not a lot of wiggle room for being douchey. You have to stand up, you have to clap, you have to paint on the smile and stuff like that. And I've noticed it with politicians. What I've noticed is Gavin Newsom's the governor of California, and when he gets busted for having 30 of his closest friends at the French Laundry after he shut down California, he has to go into some backpedal mode.
Yep.
He has to explain. First, there's an excuse. Like, we were outdoors, but not really. You weren't outdoors. But then, and then there's sort of like, you know what? On hindsight, you have to go in this contrition. You have to be contrite.
Yep.
You have to kind of walk it back, sprinkle some excuses out. The excuse is like a prize fighter backing up but poking jabs out, like flicking a jab every once in a while. Like it's an apology with the occasional jab of the excuse.
You're still going to end up on the ropes.
You're
gonna
still
tie
going to
up a
get
bit,
pummeled.
but, yeah.
Right. If you take the women of color who are mayors or whatever, who got busted during COVID, their approach was suck my clit. Like, they were like, you had Lori Lightfoot in Chicago who got busted for like going to the salon, and she just goes, "Hey, I care about my hygiene, so eat a dick." Like, she didn't back up and go. She didn't go like, "Well, the person cutting my hair was triple vaxxed, and I'd been tested before." She just went, "I care about what I look like."
Yeah.
It's a tough shit.
Tough shit.
So fuck off.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do? I'm lesbian. I'm black. What are you going to do? Come on, bring it, bitch. You see how fast you'll be called homophobic or racist or whatever. London Breed, mayor of Oakland or whatever, got busted for going to a Tony concert. And her excuse was, they were like indoors, confined, no safe distancing. And she's like, I felt the groove.
Yeah. It's Tony.
Yeah, I felt it. Like, I just had the groove pass through me. It's like, not only is not excuses, you're saying fuck right off, right? So I think over the last 10 years, there's been this thing where Angela Bassett, if that was Sally Fields, may have gotten more shit for not clapping or not smiling or whatever. I think there's an element of, hey, we've been fucked with for 200 years. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's spread our wings a little bit.
It's interesting because you could take that timeline further and further and further away from a straight white man, right? Like, you could take that all the way to somebody who is transitioning, which would be even further away.
Oh, yeah. Transition is the top. I think transitioning is probably, I mean, we got to work out the power rankings one of these days. And there's going to be an argument like, who's going to make the college football finals, you know? And there's going to be a lot of debate. Like, come on, this guy's a black guy who's gay, who's transitioning into a white lesbian woman. Now, that's at the top. Oh, yeah? Tell it to my friend in the wheelchair.
Right.
Who's also transitioning.
We added wheelchair. Who's number one? Who's number two seed?
That's right. So, speaking of Newsom, there's this, Chris has thoughts, but here's what I've been yelling about for a long time, and I mean it. I don't sit around and crunch numbers. I just sort of look at the landscape. You know what I mean? I think of myself as a Indian who's leading a group of like settlers in wagons, and I just stop at some point. And when I stop, everyone else just stops. But they give me my space, you know? And then some guy in the wagon will go, what's Dancing Bear doing? He's got a feeling. Just leave him alone. And he'll put his head up a little bit. He doesn't like which way the wind is blowing. He senses something. You know, that's who I am. I just sense things.
Okay.
And what I started to realize, and it's chronicled in one of my books, is there's always going to be a little bit of a chasm in a society between what the powers that be ask of you and then how they treat people who don't follow any rules. And so they're going to have, you got to have your license and registration when you get pulled over, and you got to pay your property taxes. And if you want to build a deck on your house, you got to pull a permit. There's that. But what I started to say is when the chasm gets too big between what they need the rule followers to do and then what they're asking the other people who just go, I'm just going to take my Winnebago and I'm going to park it in Toluca Lake and I'm just going to have a fucking barbecue on the roof every night, and I'll just pull power off the pole and I'll pull water off the hydrant, and we're not doing anything about this, people, then the chasm gets too great. And when the chasm gets too great, it becomes sort of anarchy, because eventually the people playing by the rules, like getting the chicken shit tickets and pulled over for having expired tabs on their car and can't get a permit or whatever, they go, why are we doing all this? And that guy's living, meaning if you have some property along PCH and you want to build something on it, it's a 5-year process with the Coastal Commission. But if you want to park your busted up RV right on PCH and just live out of it, no problema. And the chasm gets too big. So what I was thinking about was there's a new rule, a new bill coming out.
So it's introduced by Democrat Assemblyman Matt Haney of San Francisco. This bill is allowing California to be the first state to have workers legally allowed to ignore messages from their boss after the workday ends.
Right. Well, now, first things first.
Okay.
So no
Does
calls,
the government need to be involved in every relationship?
Great
You know what I mean?
question.
Like, you really don't. This is pretty much between the employer and the employee. If and by the way, the employee, what was it? Last week, right? We're going to do something, and Leno had to set Leno up for whatever.
Yeah.
Ask Chris, can you go tech it out? Saturday.
I invoiced you heavily.
Chris said, I'm busy. Chris said, I'm doing something Saturday. And we went, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, he could turn me in, I guess.
Right. I didn't even have to answer your call.
Okay, first things first.
What?
You are creating... everything is just a wide opening for lawyers, because what happens is it's like Americans with Disabilities Act. All right, that's good. We should have restrooms, stalls that are wider with a grab bar, whatever. Fine.
Sure.
It creates an entire cottage industry. There's nobody who owns a restaurant in LA that hasn't been sued for not having a proper height towel bar or grab bar, the thing or something. Mark Garagos, the attorney, he has restaurants. He gets sued all the time by all the vermin lawyers who have taken this thing, like the state and the city one. Don't you think people who are handicapped should be? I do.
Yes.
But you don't know what this is going to turn into. Do you know how many lawyers are going to get involved with this shit, with the wrongful termination? Oh, I have a text here. It's 5:31 on a Thursday, and you're texting my client? Like
$100,000 fine. Get out of here.
All of it is just settle up.
Yep.
Just give us $85,000 and we'll just go away. Right. That's every one of those ADL, Americans with Disability. It's all just cut us a check. We'll go home. We don't have to get this into court.
If that's the case, then you're also destroying every small business. You're getting rid of every small business.
That's all they're doing with $20 minimum wage, this kind of shit. Yes, you will destroy small businesses, but you can keep reading.
Right. Okay. So this is, and some other countries have already implemented this. It's called the right to disconnect law.
Oh man,
Right.
where is personal responsibility in anything anymore?
Also,
Stand up for yourself. What are you doing?
Here's what they're doing. They never know what they're doing. If somebody works at McDonald's, you don't want them to be earning a comfortable wage. You want them to be thinking, I got to get the fuck out of this place. I'm not making shit. I got to move up. Maybe I got to be a manager, or I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
This notion of like, we're going to make people comfortable. If you have an employee and you can't contact that employee like over the weekend or with some emergency thing or some piece of business or something, that person just gets relegated into, I'm I talked to her. I was with a bunch of old rich guys 5 years ago. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And we're
sitting around outside.
We're sitting around outside drinking beer and complaining about anyone under 40. That's all we do. And I was telling this guy, he was a big successful lawyer. He had a big law firm and something like that. And he just goes, I got some junior lawyer guys, like 25. He's going on a week's vacation. And he told me, like, to my face, hey, don't bother me while I'm gone for a week. This is the junior guy. And then the guy looked at me and he goes, you think that guy's ever making partner? No fucking way. I'm not going to fucking move that guy up in this shit attitude. So you're actually fucking these people up by making these laws. You should listen, if you're fucking boss, I mean, didn't anyone see Wall Street? You know what I mean? You want Gordon Gekko calling you Sunday night going, I got business for you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Not, fuck that kid.
I've never hung out with a tattletale, nor will I ever.
Yeah.
You know, that's what these laws are. It's tattletale lawsuits.
And it's more openings for more lawyers and more law. You wait. There will be a cottage industry of the wrongful termination. By the way, in California, you can't fire anyone without getting sued. That's
Really?
it. Oh my God, I've tried. You can't do it. They just lawyer up and then they just come back. And then at some point someone goes, just give them 90 grand. They'll go away. It's going to be a lot better than that's how, it's, you don't want the press. They'll always throw like wrong. I had a guy who was on the other side of the other building doing editing and stuff. I didn't even know this fucking guy's nationality. I talked to him 3 times. There was nothing to it. When he got shit canned for being horrible, he got a lawyer. It was racial discrimination was at the top of the thing. I'm like, I don't know what he is. We never even talked about it. Right. But oh yeah, no, that's it. So
I plan on using that if anything
you
happens
definitely use it. Yeah. and then here's what it creates. You go, oh, I want to hire this black guy over here, and then you go, oh shit, what if he fucking quits and then does the racial? Okay, I'm going with the white guy. It's all unintended consequences. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But read on.
Okay, so
whatever your nationality is. Thanks for leaving the hut today, by the way. Coming by.
Oh my!
And don't leave after work. I got a laundry list of shit for you to take care of.
If the employer violates the rule, they could face a civil penalty of at least $100. And the non-working hours will be established by written agreement between the workers and the employer.
Yeah, there's stuff like, when these guys quit or fuck up or get fired or whatever, and they go to the lawyer, they go, did you explain to them that they could take a 10-minute break every 2 hours? And then I go, I don't tell them anything. Right. You work. If you get a phone call, take a phone call. If your fucking wife has some slips in the kitchen or something, get in your car and go home. If you need to go to the dentist, go to the dentist. Like, I don't tell them anything. And they go, that's not enough. You need to tell them and like enforce them. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to walk into the next room and go, hey, bro, it's been 2 hours. Go over there and sit down for 10 minutes. Like, you'll never comply because it's impossible to comply because it's every ordinance is insane and sort of counterintuitive. Like people show up and they work and then they go home. I don't really tell them what to do in terms of, if you want to make a phone call, make a phone call. If you want to take a 10-minute break, then take a 10-minute break and make a phone call. But you have to like physically do that. You have to post laminated shit every 5 feet about what they need, what their rights are for workers and everything. You'll never comply. You'll get fucked. And then you'll just go, this fucking cut a check.
100%. Right. Maybe a step further, take it to the future, 20, 30 years from now, and all of a sudden, lawyers are representing robots who were not fully charged. And now it's like, there's an 80% charge law. And
not even at work. They're going to be sex robots.
Yeah.
And they're going to put him on the stand. He's like, he never ate my pussy. Oh, I was scared. I was going to get a shock.
Yeah.
I didn't want to short you out.
Yeah. $100,000, whatever it takes. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
This will buy a lot of batteries. So I was thinking about the proclamation. Chris had one. Chris will set me up perfectly for what I'm going to complain about because Saturday, when he couldn't head over to Leno's shop and help set up, he was golfing, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Well, It's a Saturday. You like to golf. I'm just doing the math.
I do like to golf, yeah.
He couldn't help out Mr. Leno, but, he had a tee time.
Sorry. Yeah.
And
Of course.
They're hard to get.
And
now.
on the golf course, he found this out. What was it?
Okay, so when I was golfing on a day that wasn't Saturday, one of the holes, as we like to walk the course and like the 12th hole, we want to get a drink, and they usually have the snack shack there that you can just grab a snack, get a beer or something, and it's been closed for a few months.
Right.
And I was like, why is this been closed? And one of the golfers I was with said, well, what I heard was because they lost the license for alcohol, the permit to serve alcohol there, because even though it's on the same property as the clubhouse, it's too far, right? The golf course is too large to where they need to get a separate permit for this snack shack.
Right. Or, conversely, if you'd like a cold one next time you go to SoFi, you can just buy a Modelo tall boy off an illegal who's selling them out of a cooler on the property of SoFi Stadium out front before the game starts.
100%. $5 cash.
If you need a shot of Cuervo Gold, I think they can provide you with that. And if you're in the mood for a hot dog wrapped with bacon, you can grab that. So here's what I'm saying. How big a chasm can you get between telling the business who pays a shitload in taxes and has probably been there for 50 years and already has a liquor license or whatever, that kind of stringent, insane enforcement over this versus Mexican illegal coolers standing in front of the cops, handing out beer, no permits, forget about the liquor license, no taxes, all cash, underground economy. That is a fucking massive chasm. What I'm saying is if you were in one of the Carolinas, they would not permit you to sell beers out front of the Panthers game, and they wouldn't fucking hassle the guy who ran the golf course about the thing. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
There's always going to be like a little bit of a chasm because you pull over some guy and he's got no license and no ID and no whatever. And it's like he's an empty bag. He can't pay the fine or whatever. You're going to have to pay the fine. You can pay $25 million and live in Malibu, or you can live in the RV in Malibu. There's always going to be this chasm, but the states that have the biggest chasm are the ones that are going to be the loser states and the ones that people want to leave. How much bigger a chasm can you get than the range of, and what is the range of the liquor license? Like a 9-iron, a sand wedge, a pitching wedge? That's what it should be. Get the Club Pro.
Yeah.
Let's see, 110 yards to the flag.
Yeah.
It's literally on the grounds.
It's on the grounds.
So here's what they're doing to this guy. They're going, I think we can fuck him on a technicality because at the end of the day, all of this ends up in someone writing a check. You have to go in, apply for this. It's always just write a check. Write a check. So they're going to get the guy who plays by the rules, who pays the taxes, who runs the business. That guy's going to have to come in and write a check. The illegals who are selling the tall boys at SoFi, zero checks from there. Now, you find me a state with a bigger chasm in it than that. And if you find me that state, I'll show you a fucked up state. And that's what people do. They go, well, there's all these, you've declared whatever, Chicago, a sanctuary city. And then they got all these illegals coming in and you're giving them debit cards and food stamps and housing. What about us?
Right.
We live here. We pay taxes.
We play by the rules.
We play by the right. That's going to be the downfall. Now, if you just want, look, illegal people, you don't get jack squat. And poor people who are born here, you don't get jack squat either. Or you both got it.
Right.
But you can't have one and then the other. That's where, when you turn on the news and everyone's pissed off, it's because of the one or the other. It's like, I got twins. I can go, listen, you're both getting beatings and you're both being molested.
Because it's fair.
Yeah, but exactly. I can't be one of you gets a Mercedes and the other one gets beaten and molested. Then they're pissed.
Right.
What they want is equity.
Yeah. So in my life, I shortened my own chasm because my first job was working at a pizza place in St. Louis, Missouri. So I would make pizzas and work the register in the front and sell weed out the back.
Right.
And I had the best of both worlds, and that's why I love this country, because you can really play both sides of the fence if you can figure it out a bit, you know? Like in the weed world, which I'm pretty familiar with for a very long time, so many of these companies will be in dispensaries. They will be like putting everything out there legally, but they've got warehouses stacked with cash for lawyers and pushing everything over on like the legacy market, because it's the only way to survive in this country is kind of to play both sides of it. Or if you play by the rules, you're going to kind of get, you know, shanked quite a bit, it seems like. And then if you don't, then the cops just say, hey, quit doing that. And then you just move around the corner and you keep doing it.
What did you do a decent pizza over there in St. Louis?
I really did not. I was quite bad at it. I would eat them and I would sell weed, and that was all I cared about.
Did you make your own special pizza?
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Stupid question,
Yeah,
right?
you know what I mean?
What'd
I
you
would
do?
put the pineapple on top of the pepperonis so that they would
Bleed into
it would
it.
bleed into it, and then that juice from the pepperoni would soak up into the pineapple.
Sweet heat.
I like a Hawaiian style. Tired of the snobs.
Yeah, right?
I really feel like I feel like it's what we just did to the princess over there in England over there.
Middleton?
Kate Middleton.
with her
do we really need to
disappearing
hear
and
your
then-
fucking opinion on everything,
Holy
asshole?
crap, you're right.
She's got cancer. I like Hawaiian style. Why don't you shut the fuck up and keep walking? This really affects your life greatly.
Right. How bored are you?
How fucking bored are you that you have to? And by the way, it's all snobbery. I'm secure enough to say I like a Hawaiian style pizza. The guys who take umbrage with it, half of them don't like it, and the other half are just piling on. They're like, oh, I'm such a purist. You know, listen, sausage and onion, that's number one for me.
Okay.
I like olives. I like black olives. I know they don't taste like anything. I just like a black olive pizza. I like a mushroom pizza as well. And I like the Hawaiian style. And the thing about the Hawaiian is it's Canadian bacon and pineapple. Let's not forget about the Canadian bacon, because Canadian bacon is an awesome pizza
Everyone
right
just
there.
Keep focusing on the pineapple.
It's all the pineapple.
100%.
By the way,
Yeah.
as soon as we take the pineapple off the pizza, then you guys are back in love with the pineapple.
Do you
Like
think-
if I said to the same guy, you know what's really awesome? Cut up some pineapple and put it on top of some cottage cheese and put a little pineapple juice. And they go, oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh, okay, so you love fucking pineapple now, douche.
Yeah, you put it on a Hawaiian burger. It's the best thing you've ever
fucking
had.
love it. Oh, with the sauce on there.
Sure thing.
The Hawaiian burger, yeah. And they go, why? Oh, because you got the savory and then you got the sweet. That's what I'm talking about on the fucking pizza, bitch.
What you need. Do you think Canada is mad that we call it the Hawaiian pizza when their bacon is on it?
You know what? It's the same problem Tiger Woods' mom has. You know, they go like, the first African American to win a major tournament. She's over there going, "What the fuck? Hello, sprung from this pussy."
Yeah. Oh, I had nothing.
Not black. Last time I checked. Yeah,
Japanese, right?
she's
Thai.
Thai.
Thai?
She's Thai. Even
Okay.
better, like even a deeper cut.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
on
Like,
the
how about a
ranking.
little love? You know what I mean? There's plenty of black athletes out there. There's not a lot of Thai athletes out there.
Can't think of a one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I did not know. One, great power ranking on the two-topping pizza as far as the onion and sausage is concerned as a number one choice. Phenomenal.
Oh, well, sorry. Wait, we got to dive deeper.
Okay.
Because we've had some controversy here.
Interesting.
Crumbled sausage or sausage discs?
Oh, man. I hate the disc. I really don't like the disc because
Well, let me give you a plug.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's been real. It's been 38 minutes and it's time. You're a crumble man
No, here's
There's a-
okay.
or a disc man.
No,
You're
no.
a
Here's,
discus.
here's what I'm saying.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not fundamentally against the crumble.
Okay.
I have found that the crumble is a marker for a bad pizza joint. Mm-hmm. When you go to the big chains, like I'll give you for instance, I'm a product of the LA Unified School District. Friday they had pizza day.
Okay.
I got food stamps or meal tickets or whatever, so I got a free hot dog or pizza, whatever slop, their institutional slop they were showing. First off, they put the pizza shaped like a football field, so it fucks you up already. It's the wrong shape. And then they would have the crumbles on it. And when you go to like the Pizza Hut or whatever, it's the crumbles, because it's faster, it's cheaper, it's whatever. Now, if I went to a good place and they did the crumbles, that I would take. But it's more a marker for a franchise that's a cheap pizza.
You want to see that oregano in there. You want to see that little bit of fat. You want it to have a little bit of a better ratio and spread.
I also find the crumble, it's never like the commercial. It's a big pile in the middle, and then it gets loose around the outside.
Yeah, it's like glitter on glue. It's
Yes.
just a mess.
Yes. Yes.
Can we
100%.
should pause and let our audience know how qualified Mike is to talk about food.
Yes.
Because you went to culinary school. You were one of the worst chefs in America.
And
originally.
he made his Red Baron frozen pizzas.
Oh, I sure did. Yeah, you really did watch it. Thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Red Baron or the oh, there it is. Or the pizza you grew up eating in school. So much crust. It's so much bread. It's a
just
nightmare.
doughy. It's a doughy, shitty nightmare.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, if you're going to Domino's, just get thin crust. It'll spare. It's one less thing to fuck up.
Well, maybe we can meet in the middle. How do you feel about those corner triangle pieces for Domino's versus because they cut the whole thing into a square, so every slice is a square. To me, the best part of that whole thing is the tiny triangle,
Little crispy
on each side, little
It's
bit of crisp.
basically the batter on the stick on hot dog on a stick. It's like a little chewy, nibbly, feel like a field mouse.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, we really have differing pizza opinions here.
All right,
This
well,
is
wait a
big
minute.
chasm.
You like sausage and onion?
Sure do.
And I crumbled or discs. Let's not quibble.
Okay.
Sausage and onion, strong
Appreciate it.
base.
Strong.
I agree.
Chicken bacon, I think, is a
Ooh.
very nice,
Never even
very
thought
nice
about
move.
Ooh, here's another weak pizza move for me.
Sure.
I like the barbecue chicken pizza every once in a while.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm embarrassed by it.
Are you? Is it? Oh,
It's up there
invented
with
in
the
Cali.
Hawaiian. It's with the Hawaiian style. It's
Sure.
like, oh, you don't know. If you said that to a New Yorker, they'd fucking
Yeah.
punch you and vomit on you.
Italians would cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
But if you go to like California Pizza Kitchen and
The
someone gets
inventor.
a piece of that little barbecue chicken,
You know what
thing,
makes it for me?
fucking good.
Is
Hell
the
yeah.
cilantro on it.
Yes, the cilantro. I don't
like
know
a
why,
nice
but yes,
herbaceous-
But I'm ashamed.
Sure.
That's all.
You whisper it.
That's
yeah,
right.
100%.
It's a safe space, though.
When I was on Worst Cooks in America, because I really was, I ate 3 frozen pizzas a day. One of our first challenges was to make pizzas, and so I made one in the shape of a dick to try and get that on Food Network. And they
that's
cut
good.
to it, and there's just like some balls and a shaft right there on Food Network. I'm pretty proud of it, actually.
What'd you put on it?
Pepperoni and maybe pineapple, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
and
then
the
had
pepperoni pineapple, no one goes with. That's your thing.
maybe so. I love it. A sweet and salty. Give me an M&M and a pretzel.
Oh yeah.
It's sweet and salty all day long.
You're right.
There's so many great pizza places here in California, and I feel like I don't know if it's better than New York. I haven't been to New York much, but I love the pizza here. I think that this is probably the food capital of the country as far as I'm concerned. California has it all.
I'll agree. You can get
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah, anything. From that food truck, from that gas station. It's all right here for you. Cash only. I love a cash only place in a gas station. Get a burrito. The best.
Now, are you talking about a truck pulling up into a gas station doing like a pop-up thing, or are you talking about going into the AM/PM and buying a burrito?
I've never had an AM/PM burrito. I've never microwaved one before.
I have no idea what the business model is for food at the gas station, and there's a lot of it. I mean, you go down the street, they got the hot dogs on the rotisserie grill thing. They
Rollers,
got
yeah.
the burritos, they got the stuff, the cheese stuffed nachos and stuff like that. Like, look, first off, are you okay? Couple of things. Gas is $5.50 a gallon. A pack of cigarettes is $14. Are you telling me a bean burrito at Taco Bell's like out of reach?
Right.
Financially for you? Like, what is the difference? Like, you can go down to the Taco Bell and build yourself a bean burrito and you'll fucking love it.
Yep.
And it's $1.41.
And
or
it's
something.
next door.
Yeah, what's the gas station burrito? Like, who are these?
Where are they sourcing their
Where
ingredients?
are these? Where are these people? Who are? I mean, what is it? Homeless? Out of where? Is there some drug? Is there some
went to
gay thing going on? Like, what don't we know?
I went to a place that had the hot dogs on the rollers, and I really wanted a hot dog at the time. So he asked the guy, like, hey, how are the hot dogs here? And he looks back at the 7 hot dogs just spinning, and he looks right back at me and goes, we're out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
Whoa.
like, don't get them.
Interesting.
What again? The business model.
It doesn't make sense at all. At all. But also, if you're craving that burrito, if you're craving any of that, I would argue go to the Chili's, go to the Applebee's, go to a place that it's gonna like. I love a chain restaurant, man. I think it's one of the best things in the world. Love a chain.
Yard House is awesome.
The Yard House, never been. Would love to go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't understand. Also, gas stations are so easy to steal from. Just throw some mixed nuts in your pocket and get out of there.
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing?
I'll tell you the only problem with the Yard House, and everyone's got to understand this. Man, I'm trying to think of the movie. It's the great Clint Eastwood where he said, like, man's got to know his limitations. You know what I mean? Like, and people, you have to know the limitation of where you're going. Like, I don't eat Subway sandwiches. But if I'm in some situation or on some set or something and someone goes, someone's going to Subway, I go turkey, tomato, mustard, and olive oil and vinegar or whatever, and an onion, whatever. But I don't get the seafood bisque because it's out of their range. You know what I mean? Like, they can't fuck the turkey, tomato, and cheese. Like provolone, turkey, and tomato, and mustard. Okay, it's not going to be a great sandwich, but they're not going to fuck it up. And whenever I go to the Yard House, because the Yard House is right next door to Jimmy Kimmel's Club.
Yep.
And it's the only place that's open after the second set, right? And then I go there with Mike August at midnight. And then Mike August looks at the menu. I do the same thing every time. Burger, cheeseburger, slab of tomato, onion, done. I know what you guys do.
Yep.
Mike goes down and he finds the shrimp jambalaya.
God damn it.
Right? And I go,
And he's from New Orleans.
that's why he wants it. That's why he wants it, because he's got a dream. You know what I mean? And I go, Mike, don't do it. And he goes, I want the shrimp jambalaya. I go, it's 12:40 at night. It's Thursday.
Are you sure they're not out of it? What are you talking
We're
about?
off the strip. This is the Yard
We're
House.
nowhere near a body of
you
water.
order a fucking beer and a burger, and we get out. And he's like, I'm going with the jambalaya, and then he gets the fucking jambalaya and the etouffee or whatever it is, and then everywhere I go with him, and then he eats it and he goes, and I'm like, because you've exceeded the possibilities. What I'm saying is, let's just say I'm a special needs diving coach.
Great.
And I deal with 9-year-old kids who have special needs. I don't go, we're going to start on the 4-meter board with a triple gainer because that's a fucking belly flop.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I go, I'm going to see if I can work with these kids to do one revolution and just see if they can go foot first in the water. And that'll be a fucking victory for these kids, because when you aim high, you get the belly flop.
Yep.
And you have to know the limitations of the place you're eating at. Yes?
Brilliant.
It's
Yes.
also the same. It's the exact same thing with room service. You're at the Hilton, the Marriott, whatever. Just get the burger and fries. They're never going to fuck it up. But these people, I want the pheasant under glass or whatever the fuck they're getting. And it's like, I went to Cherry's Jubilee, and that guy better light it when he comes in here and stuff. And then they always go, I went to Mike. I was with a couple people. We're in Vegas. We went to a Thai food place. We ate Thai food. And at the end, they ordered for dessert. First off, we're at a Thai food place.
Okay.
I go, don't do it.
Right.
Don't do dessert.
No.
Don't do dessert. No. We're getting the tiramisu.
The what?
Tiramisu! Tiramisu! So then I go, don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it. And they go, we're going with the tiramisu.
Look
And
where we are.
look, we're in a fucking Thai food place. Don't do it. And they're going, all right. First off, they always do this one too. They go, don't you like tiramisu? Yes, I do. I love tiramisu, but not here.
Yeah.
We're on a strip mall outside of Vegas in Henderson, and where we just ate Thai food, which was great. They go, we're getting the tiramisu. I go, don't do it. Just don't do it. They go, why? I don't like tiramisu. It looks good. By the way, you have to factor in the rest of the menu. You can't just go to the bottom and go tiramisu. You're not the Cheesecake Factory.
Exactly.
You're at a Thai food place in Henderson. Tiramisu shows up. My girl eats one bite. Goes, oh my God. this is horrible.
Oh,
shocking.
I'll go, yeah, no shit. No shit. Then she slides it over to Mike. Mike, who I nicknamed the Stone Pelican. Like, I could take pudding and put gravel in it, and he'd still just fucking eat the whole thing. Like, he wouldn't even look up.
Always an empty plate.
Always an empty plate. He takes one bite of the tiramisu and goes, oh, my God, this is horrible. Then they slide it over to me. Worst tiramisu ever. I go, you want me to try it?
You're selling it.
Yeah, try it. I go, I'm not trying it. I'm the guy. I was the conscientious objector. I was the guy who said, don't do it.
You should not have to try that.
Now, I'm picking up the bill, right? I go, okay, worst tiramisu ever? Unedible. I mean, listen, when Mike doesn't eat dessert, it's not edible.
Can confirm.
I go, send it back. Oh, we can't. We took 2 bites out of it. I go, I don't want to pay $11 for the thing. I said, do not order this thing. Do not order it. It's horrible. Horrible. Then just send it back.
Yeah.
Just tell them to take it off the fucking...
That's a completely rational argument.
We're not going to do it.
You have to.
Like, all right.
Well, that's when
I
you get
told
a lawyer.
you don't order it. I got to pay for it. You say it's the worst, and you won't send it back.
Unreal.
2 bites.
What about get a tiramisu lawyer? Really
You're
take
right.
him down.
I should have lawyered up.
Should have lawyered up on that
Fucking-
$11
Yeah.
tiramisu.
I could have sent Garagos a text right then and there. You have to know where you are. Like,
Yeah.
who are the people who don't? We're sitting in a tie. It's authentic, great. Grandma's in the back cooking. When I hear tiramisu, I'm like, no.
Right.
No.
They got
And then,
one of those when it opened, and
Right.
it stayed there since they
Right,
opened.
yeah, nobody's ordered one of these.
You need to know your environment.
100%.
You should have split the bill and just had August pay for that piece of cake.
When I go to heaven or hell, there's going to be a 17,000-minute reel of this, just this, of me going, don't do it. Don't do it. We're doing it.
Unbelievable.
Don't do it. You can't even get it. First off, you can barely get a decent glass of wine at a Thai place because they just go, we do our own weird shit
On the
over
menu,
here.
it usually says red, white.
Red, white.
That's
right,
it.
Right.
100%. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, the Clint Eastwood quote is from Magnum Force from 1973. A man's got to know his own limitations.
Wow.
You guys know that one?
I don't,
It's a
but
famous.
I believe it.
It's a famous. You can find it, Byron. It's a famous. Those Clint.
Oh, he's chewing the hot dog, shooting a gun, whisper something. The best.
Just return the tiramisu. Tiramisu at a Thai restaurant.
Unbelievable. Also,
here's the thing.
Please.
To the man, in this case, it's me, who's the soothsayer and the teller of truths. Any purchase, you know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna look around and go, that guy has a high batting average.
Yeah.
Instead of telling him to talk to the hand, maybe, just maybe, we should listen to him.
Right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. Now,
Feels reasonable to me.
sounds reasonable. All right, we got March Madness. We got news. What else do we got here?
That's what we got.
We got that. We'll be right back right after this. Morgan and Morgan, it's 2024. Let's talk about something important. If you get hurt this year and you're injured, well, your injury could be worth millions of dollars. And if you're ever injured, you should check out my friends at Morgan and Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, over 100 offices nationwide and more than 1,000 lawyers. More than $20 billion with a B, $20 billion recovered for over 500,000 clients over the years. Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you the full and fair compensation you deserve. They've been fighting for the people for over 35 years. Racing my vintage cars, well, that can be a little bit hard. Oh, yeah. But submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is easy. Am I right, Dawson?
If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/Adam or dial pound law, pound 529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/Adam or pound law, pound 529 from your cell. This is a paid advertisement. Is on the Adam Carolla Show.
It's got a very funny stand-up special. You can see it on YouTube. Life Rules. Filmed at the Improv. And it looked good, too.
Thanks.
Nicely done. 36 minutes and whatever seconds.
Yeah.
Bite size. Very watchable.
His backdrop was a collection of important artifacts from his career, his life.
Oh, yeah. So question, when I was watching you in sort of the cold open and you're loading up the artifacts and the meaningful things of your life, and I happened to see an Olympic gold medal in there, and then I realized I went and researched it a little, and I was like, oh, that's his, but I didn't hear it in the special, or did I miss it?
No, I'm working on that right now, talking about that. I played for Team USA as a roller hockey goalie in the Pan Am Games. And we won against Canada in the Pan Am Finals.
Canada in hockey.
Yeah, beat them in roller.
Deal. That's a big deal.
Smoked them. It was great. And then there was a moment when I thought we were going to become an official Olympic event.
So it was a trial sport?
It was right up there, and they ended up going with badminton mixed doubles instead of roller hockey.
That's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. Oh, the arena was packed. You can only imagine how many people were in line to watch badminton mixed doubles. Just line around the arena. Nobody could get in.
Badminton is a sport where if somebody goes underhand and hits it hard, underhand swoop in the air, and you're watching, you could go, I'm going to go grab a beer and come back before it lands.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's fluttering.
Yeah, while it's just floating down to the earth.
It was unbelievable. So I was like, well, I can't compete with badminton mixed doubles, certainly.
But
so crazy.
But you won the gold.
I won a gold.
I won a gold.
Wore a Team USA jersey, skated around the rink with an American flag.
Wow.
Medal around my neck.
You must be pretty good at that in order to make that team.
Yeah, I think I unofficially, but I will say I was number one in the country.
Why not?
Why not?
Roller hockey, they play with like a hard rubber ball?
No, there's a puck. I mean, back... You play in the church parking lot growing up with the hard rubber bar, street hockey, but then it's a puck.
They do a puck in...
Yeah.
Is it the puck with the little rollers on it?
Exactly. So it's like smooth, but it's a heavy, hard puck.
Oh,
It's real. It hurts if you get dinged with it, but it's 4-on-4 in roller, so it's all speed, finesse.
Is it... What's the surface? Just smooth concrete? Anything smooth?
It's some kind of like plastic polymer or something. So everything moves real fast. You can stop on a dime. Everything, the similarities as far as the surface is concerned with ice is slipperier, but you do everything you can to compensate for that. And then, but yeah, everything motors, 100-mile-per-hour shots. Everybody's flying around the rink at the same speeds.
Are you good? Would you be a good ice skater too?
I was pretty. I bet if I were to guess for ice, I probably could have played D3, D2, something like that in college. Yeah, we were poor growing up, so I couldn't afford all the equipment. It was a baseball glove, a mask, and some knee pads in the back of the church. And then eventually I got sponsored so I could afford some other equipment. But until then, I could never play ice hockey.
Red Baron Pizza came knocking.
There you go. Yeah, they were like, let's throw a couple boxes on a blocker. Why not?
Well, yeah, I mean, I always said that. I grew up the same way. Football, they provided a uniform for you, pretty much. Baseball, they provided everything. You just needed cleats and a mitt. Hockey, everyone I knew, I only knew two guys who played hockey. They had to have all their own shit. And that was a bridge way too far. Like a pair of Bauer skates? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, and not to mention there's a full Jofa this and helmet that and gloves this. I mean, these are high dollar items. And for some reason in hockey, they don't provide anything.
Nothing.
Pop Warner football, they'd give you shoulder pads, knee pads, girdle, helmet. Like you check it in. You check in, they just check it out to you, and you'd have to return it at the end of the year. But they didn't do that.
Not at all. And also, I mean, if I'm starting to play around 10, 11, no, even younger, I'm growing every year. How are you going to buy those Bauer skates? And then 6 months later, I'm growing out of them and trying to take them to Plate Against Sports to get $20.
Right. Plate Against Sports. That's right.
Still around.
It's still around. Yeah. So, I was real fortunate to be able to get good enough that I could tour around. The best was being a couple of things. We were sponsored by strip clubs growing up. And
really?
Yeah. So I'd be 14, 15 playing on a men's team in St. Louis. And we'd be sponsored by Diamond Cabaret and PTs, and I'd spend my weekends just hanging out with dancers and a bunch of grown men. It was a pretty good time.
Oh, my God. But it's reminiscent of the first Bad News Bears, if anyone remembers the Walter Matthau version of Bad News Bears and Jodie Foster. And anyway, That team was sponsored by Chico's bail bonds.
Is that right?
And it was always a funny joke to see the 9-year-olds with the Chico's bail bonds. But this is pretty much the same joke.
100%.
Maybe a better joke.
100%.
For you, because you were young.
Oh, phenomenal. And also they all took care of me. I'm walking around the rink with a bunch of beautiful women who are just hanging out and feeling. My dad seemed to hang out a lot more than I expected him to. You know? Why not?
You're not
answered the
you're
call.
not that big of a guy, though. I'd assume a goalie needs to take up a lot more space in front of the goal.
Yeah, I'm fast. I can still. It's weird how quick muscle memory comes back. I was so fast. I'd be a little fat kid, but my instincts and my reaction time is still good. Like if a glass falls off here, I'll catch it. I still got it for sure.
No,
it lasts forever.
Quickness is a thing. It's also a hypervigilance. It's a kind of a seeing things.
Yeah, I think that's
corner
true.
Of your eye.
Corner of the eye, and also angles, man. If you have solid fundamentals and you are a strong skater and you're on your angles, plus visualizing things before the game, I don't know what the turning point was for me, but as soon as I started picturing the whole game before the game, things that I would picture beforehand would happen.
Wow.
And I would be a step ahead of that moment. It was a real interesting thing to be able to visualize what would happen before it occurred. So yeah, I'm a tiny dude, but
Love it.
and also I'm feisty. I'll get in some fights. I'll get some stitches. I'll clear my crease if I have to.
I don't know gay sex talk, but whatever. Whatever
You don't know clear
do.
the crease? Oh man,
Great move.
I can picture it. It's fucking making me wince.
Oh,
we have
man.
Clint Eastwood from Magnum Force talking about a man's got to know his own limitations. And that's the way I feel about tiramisu
Mike August.
at a Thai food place. The fuck? By the way, you know what's always nuts, dude? When there's two people that are nuts and then there's you, and you're looking at everyone going, don't do it. And they're both looking at you going, don't you like tiramisu? And it's,
I'm going to hold the firework for just a couple more seconds.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's only to light my cigarette off the wick. Yeah.
Explosion.
Car blew up.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Oh.
I wish your rental car would have blown up when we were driving back to LA. I could have just stopped at a gas station and went, I'm going to run in and get a hot dog. You guys hold tight. And then boom, right outside. All right.
I can't even imagine the people you hang out with. Unreal. I don't know.
Yeah, they're not deterred.
Respect.
By their inaccuracies. Yes, tiramisu at the time.
I went to the
Also, can I
Olive
just
Garden.
say, well, let me just say this.
Yeah, sure.
If you go to the Cheesecake Factory or other places, have dessert as a strong possibility entering. You know what I mean? But if you go to the Thai food place, don't walk in with that dream. Mm-hmm. Think about if I do dinner out, I don't do dessert that much, but if I do, it's 20% of the time, but it's not everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you do the Cheesecake Factory or the nice steakhouse, then go in with dessert on your mind. When you go to the Thai food place, you go to the Mexican food place, you go in, you're eating sushi, get that thought out of your head. It's not the dessert night. When you say we're going with Thai, you said no to dessert.
Yeah.
Right.
Get a pint of fucking Haagen-Dazs and we'll eat it when we get home. But make the decision, no dessert.
Yeah.
That you've committed Mexican, Thai, sushi, Greek food probably, maybe a little baklava. Listen, I'm just vamping here, but what I'm saying is you said no to dessert when you agreed on Thai.
There's
That's all
a
I'm saying.
reason why the dessert in a Thai restaurant is mango sticky rice. Because
Right.
it's rice and it's mango.
All right. You know what? I like a martini.
Sure.
But when I agree to Thai food, I've said no to a martini. Do you understand what I've done? It's an agreement. It's a tacit agreement. I love a martini with my meal out. And when you go to a steakhouse, it's factored in. I go, oh, we're going to a steakhouse. Oh, I'm going to get a martini, right? But when we go with Thai food and in Mexican and sushi, I've already made the agreement. Mm-hmm. By the fact that I've signed off on Thai food, that I'm saying no to a martini. And you should have that same relationship with dessert.
Yeah.
I took one for the team in the martini. You take one for dessert. Now we can get Thai food.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Complete sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I want to stand up and clap. Like, what are we
Man's gotta know
doing
his
here?
limitations.
Yes, when you are taking some of your shit like rice,
Yep.
and then just squirting corn syrup and orange dye number 7, you're out of desserts.
Yeah.
You're not in the dessert business. You know, if there's a half an orange next to it, you're not into desserts.
Yeah. Would you walk into a Chinese restaurant and be like, I'll have the fettuccine Alfredo?
Right.
Because that's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying. Right.
Absolutely not.
And anytime you've offered up an ice cream flavor that's tea flavored, you're not in the dessert business anymore.
No, that's a savory trick.
Yeah, it's a savory trick. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So when you go with Thai, no to martinis and no to desserts. That's all. That's the new rule.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's it. I've made compromises by not having a martini.
Yeah.
You're going to have to return the flavor
Very nice.
with no dessert.
Damn right.
Here we are.
My dream is somebody takes that Clint Eastwood video and voices you as Clint Eastwood with the car exploding, ranting about tiramisu.
I have a compromise. Uh-huh. Are you ready?
Sure.
I can bring a flask in
There it is.
with some chilled vodka and lemon zest. And then you can bring a little tiramisu bucket in. And at some point when the dinner's over, we go, I'm going to go to the bathroom. How about you? Mm-hmm. You go, yeah, I got to go to the bathroom too. And then someone's going to go, why are you bringing your fork to the bathroom? And then you go, none of your business. And then we go our separate ways. We get our fix, pay the bill, and we walk out with our head held high.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's nice, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, shall we do March Madness?
Let's do it.
It's time to close out the big rants of March Madness. We have two fierce first-time competitors who fought their way to the final. Pro-Hamas protesters and the fired Spanish soccer president. But first, a recap. The fired Spanish soccer president treated J-Lo like J-Lo treated Ben Affleck to win the pop culture conference. And then, like a catalytic converter, cut California Conference champion LA City Councilwoman Nithya Raman out of the tournament. On the other side of the brackets, pro-Hamas protesters marched over voter ID to take the big government conference, and then drove right past classic conference champion Click It or Ticket and into the championship matchup. So which inaugural irritant will prove it's not just beginner's luck and triumph in the 2024 tourney? Pro-Hamas protesters or fired Spanish soccer president? First, pro-Hamas protesters.
Okay, I'm fucking tired of everybody. They're all 19-year-old chicks. I don't know when chicks went nuts, but they went fucking batshit crazy in like the last 15 years. Every time I fucking open my fucking computer, there's chicks fighting in an airport. Black chicks fight in the airport, white chicks fight at the rallies. You chicks have gone fucking nuts. And here's my deal. It starts off with, we're pro-Palestine. Yes, you're pro-Palestine, and then that gives way to pro-Hamas, and then that gives way to anti-Jew. It's a very quick step to get from pro-Palestine to anti-Jews. Why don't you guys just flip over all the cards, save the time, and go right to the climax? Fuck the foreplay, just go to kill the Jews. Because that's what you're all fucking thinking. You're all anti-Jew, but we don't like the way that comes across, so you go, well, I'm pro-Palestine. Pro-Palestine means pro-Hamas. Pro-Hamas means kill the fucking Jews. So just fucking own it, bitches.
Now, fired Spanish soccer president.
No, all right. Caught me off guard there, Dawson. This guy, okay, he did nothing. He pecked a woman on the lips. It lasted less than a second. There's no harm. There's no foul. Nothing ever happened. This does not help women. You think you're helping women by turning them into victims? You're turning everyone into a fucking victim. You're not helping them. You're hurting them. There's no worse position you can be in as victim. You want to know what a definition of a victim is? A guy who warns everyone at the table not to order tiramisu, then pays for the tiramisu. That's a classic cultural victim. I felt it. I'm a real tiramisu survivor, and it sickens me to see you non-victims try to claim victim status along with me and Holocaust survivors and other real victims of what humanity can be. But listen, this guy's gone for 3 years. They'll replace him with another guy. You know what I hope? I hope the next guy goes on a tri-state raping spree. I hope he fucking rapes everyone in the league 100 times and then you guys eat shit. And you know what I hope for? All you pious, sanctimonious news anchors and worked at the LA Times, New York Times, all you sat up there and went, well, this is a conundrum. He was out of line. He made the woman feel uncomfortable. He. I pray to fuck you guys all have sons and they get fucking Me Too'd on bullshit fucking charges. That's what I hope for you pious newscasters who sit there with their fucking arms folded while a guy gets railroaded for doing nothing. I hope your fucking son gets accused of nothing when he's 31 and gets his fucking ass fired and railroaded, bitch.
Woo!
Pissed.
All right, look, yeah,
All
you're
right.
pissed. So, look, very strong with the pro-Hamas protesters.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Like you basically just figured out the through line and what their end wishes really are, and it was powerful. But I will say, with the Spanish president, you took your own victimhood and you incorporated it.
Because I've been there.
Argument. You've been there, and also,
By the way, that waiter who didn't say shit about the tiramisu, he didn't get a 3-year suspension.
Right?
He got a fucking 23% tip. That's what he got.
Wow.
yeah, and
That's right.
and cursing the future generations of these reporters as well.
Yes.
I vote that the winner of March Madness is the fired Spanish soccer president.
Wow.
What do you think, Mike?
Wow. I was going to go the other way
Okay, let's
because
hear
of that Hamas to Jew hating pipeline that we're
Right.
talking about. It feels like the code was cracked wide open with that one because that's exactly what it is. Also, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, Adam. I do want to commend you on your strength for getting through the tiramisu debacle.
I'm not a tiramisu victim. I'm a tiramisu survivor. And anyone who's been raped by dessert needs to understand that. There's a lot of flan, groups.
Flan molestation.
Yes, there's a lot of
grooming.
people have been groomed by flan and then heartbroken. So in green tea, ice cream, and the sticky orange pineapple rice or whatever the fuck. We've all, there's been a lot of victims out there. So.
Yeah. And anyone out here who's not a part of that and you're trying to steal valor, we see you.
Yeah, we see you.
We see you.
That's what these women tried to do to me.
All right, let's go to the boys in the booth for the tiebreaker.
Real tough call.
Yeah, this is tough.
I think we both agree. Spanish soccer president.
Wow.
All right.
It was close. It was very close,
Very
though.
close.
Congratulations, fired Spanish soccer president, for your tournament win in the Big Rants of 2024 March Madness.
Whew.
I really do mean every single newscaster sat there with their pious look and in any case, while anyone got railroaded and did nothing to be railroaded, I hope you experience the same pain one day. I hope you have somebody in your family get fucking railroaded and you know what that feels like.
That's the only way you'll understand.
Yes, it's not the fault of the accuser or the accusee. It's us sitting around and doing nothing. We just sit. I mean, that we showed the story on it yesterday.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like if you just watch that story out of context, you would literally think he raped this woman in the locker room, roofied her and raped her in the locker room. Like you would not have any idea of what they were talking about.
Yeah.
You could never picture celebrating and kissing. Oh.
Yeah. 50 years, people are going to watch it and laugh
Oh God.
and think, I can't believe that was real.
All right. we should take a break. Mike's going to hang out. We'll come back and do some news.
Let's go.
We'll do that right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and the parts, knowledge, and everything else you need to maintain and repair your vehicle. They've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in store or online. You never have to worry if you're in a jam. They got your part. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of your car. It's nice not to have to yank that thing. If it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right battery for your vehicle. Need your windshield wipers replaced, brake light fixed, or quick service? They'll help you find the right parts or point you in the nearest local repair shop so you can have the pros do it. Whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and all friendly. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts are your one-stop shop for all things auto do-it-yourself. And you can find out what you need in-store or online. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today, or you can give them a visit, O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. A 26-year-old man was charged with indecent assault, indecent exposure, and open lewdness after he was caught masturbating in his workplace. The man was the manager of a Chipotle. Definitely not a Jew.
All right, Mike Glazer's here. Very funny stand-up special, Life Rules, available as we speak on YouTube and the podcast, Life Rules, the show as well. You can find that wherever you find finer podcasts. So we'll do some news, right, Max Spanner?
Certainly. So Los Angeles just had one of the largest cash heists in its history. As much as $30 million taken.
Really?
From a San Fernando Valley money storage facility.
Money storage?
Yeah. So the burglars were able to breach the building as well as the safe where the money was stored. Supposedly they came in through the roof, but everyone's trying to figure out how they avoided the alarm system. Like, this team was good. Or
I've had many home alarms, and there's more. The owner gets busted more than the thieves.
Is that right? It's an inside job.
No, the inside job is you set the alarm, you go to bed, dog wakes up kid at 3 a.m, needs to take a piss, kid goes out, slides the patio slider open, and the alarm goes off. That's how it works most of the time.
Right. And also, they're saying that very few individuals, though, would have known that there were huge sums of cash being kept in that safe.
In the San Fernando Valley?
Yeah.
I wonder where. That's a...
Sylmar.
Sylmar?
Wow.
Yeah, so
Sylmar...
You would never guess.
No, I mean, like the average Mexican pushing a shopping cart with an umbrella past Sylmar. I mean, that's like a place you'd pass if you're on the 5 freeway or whatever, the 210. Sylmar, average income for the resident of Sylmar is $31,000 a year.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a poor ass neighborhood. So that's crazy. But I guess the deal is don't put it in a jewel encrusted building, put it in a warehouse in Sylmar, because you would pass that warehouse 1,000 times and think they had plumbing supplies in it. There's some PVC and ABS pipe in there and maybe some couplers or something. You never know there's 30 million. Is it like loot, like drug loot? Like it must be, the 30 million must be confiscated drug something, LAPD, something. It can't just be a strategic reserve of 20s,
Also, 30 million, if it is 20s, how do you get that out? That's so heavy.
Well, first off, there has to be an inside job.
Yeah,
There's got to be one guy, like night. You told Lufthansa heist. He said something. All right.
Yeah.
I was reading about this as well. The two things that I love about it, one is they just covered the hole with a piece of plywood and got out of there, which I think is when you're doing a high stakes heist of any kind, $30 million out the door, and then you're like, just throw some plywood on it and we're out of here.
So they
Yeah.
when did the plywood go up?
Well, so this is on Easter. They did this on Easter. So as they left, they just put plywood behind them and closed it off.
Oh, just so people wouldn't pass by and see a blown out,
Yeah.
whatever. Oh, okay. I get it.
Well, I mean that's your overhead, right? You just cheap piece of wood. We're already gone. We don't need to get something nice.
That's a great point. You just swing by the Home Depot on the way.
Yeah.
Maybe keep the receipt just so you
So-
can write it off.
It'd be ballsy to come back and try to get the plywood. So what they're saying is we blew a hole in the side of the cinder block to get out, right? But if we left the hole blown open, then someone would drive by and call the cops.
Right. I mean, they found out obviously on Monday when they came back.
They did
warehouse.
basically what they did.
Oh, there it is.
It's kind of an interesting thing. It's like, you ever do that thing where it's like you got to leave your computer in your car and you go, well, I'm just going to put my sweat jacket over it.
Uh-huh.
It's not really a way to deter crime, but it kind of helps. You know what I mean? Like
Makes me feel better.
Makes you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
So they
exactly.
blew this thing out. So I used to be in construction.
Okay.
This is what you call a tilt up. That's a solid concrete wall. So it's not a cinder block. You don't see them stacked. Tilt ups. All the warehouses you see here are called tilt ups. It's just formed, going up 2 stories, and then they pump concrete rebar into it. So it's a pretty hard thing to blow out. And it looks like it's chipped out or blown out, not like wet sawn diamond blade out.
How big of a team do you think you need for a heist like this?
Well, let's
Get
see.
the boys back together.
You keep count. You need a second story man. You need a wheel man.
Yep.
Okay.
Driver.
You need that's the wheel man.
Okay. Oh, sure. Behind the wheel. I'm not going to help anymore, please. I'm not
Mike's out of the
good at heists. Yeah.
Yeah, and second story man, wheel man. You need a demolitions man. You need a knife thrower. You need a lookout man.
Hacker?
You need a hacker. Yeah, you need a hacker nerd. You need this super sexy chick too.
Yes.
I think it's about. That's
got 7.
I got demo knife thrower, right?
The Silmar 7.
And
That
one
ain't
of them's
bad.
the ringleader, right? Or are we adding him too? Because he put the team together.
Dutch is the ring guy.
Yeah.
He's the leader.
Yeah.
So you need Dutch. It's 8 guys minimum.
The Silmar 8.
The Silmar 8.
All right.
Yeah, so they went in through the skylight or the hatch or whatever. They blew the safe. They took the money. I'm guessing it's police something, evidence something.
Yeah, that's not being reported.
Isn't there something from police where they can seize anything they want and then it's just theirs all of a sudden? And like they do that with drug busts all the time where they just go in and they're like, this is all ours now. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
and
that's
they
why
just keep it.
Miami Vice, they drove around a Ferrari.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? That's not the police's, that's the drug smugglers.
Yeah.
Ferrari, right?
Exactly.
30 million. I don't know why. In a world where every time you turn on the news, some nut who's not supposed to be in this country pushed a pregnant woman onto the subway tracks or something. I like this kind of crime. It's got a theme.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. You're
harmless.
stealing money. You're not just punching chicks in the face when they're walking through Manhattan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what's in it for you crime. That's the scariest kind of crime.
Yeah, I'd say let him keep it.
Let them keep it.
Let him keep it.
Very nice.
All right. So, and by the way, the other heist that the largest cash heist in LA were usually like Dunbar armored facilities and Brinks trucks and things like that. So it's interesting that they were able to find this place here. So Oakland, we know that the Athletics, the Oakland A's, are going to Vegas. They've confirmed that, but their stadium, which is going to be on the Strip, isn't going to be ready till like 2028. So they have announced today, as we record this, that they are going to play in Sacramento till then.
Sacramento.
Yeah. And
Not even going to Oakland.
they're not even staying. Yeah, there's like, no, there's a minor league park in West Sacramento. We're going to play for a couple years. So we're going to go there. Sorry, Oakland fans.
Let's try to figure this out. For millions of years, well, maybe 80 years, they would play football and baseball in the same place, right? They played in Candlestick. I think
It was always weird seeing the baseball stadium on the football field.
Yeah. Yeah, and then every once in a while, the stars would align, and it'd be raining, and they'd be like, he's kicking the field goal off the pitcher's mound, and he's going to have to contend with that rubber, And I was always like, this is the multi-million-dollar business. You can't figure this one out. They're kicking it off the second base, but they did that. They just built the Oakland Raiders, who are not the Oakland, the Vegas Raiders, a brand new state-of-the-art field. Can they share for 5 years while they're getting built? I don't know.
You would think.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't even know if the Oakland A's are any good or not. So I'm not like, does it matter where they play? Are people gonna go watch them and support them the way that a Raiders fanatic would be a part of? Like, if the Oakland Raiders were playing in Sacramento, I feel like people are traveling to Sacramento.
People travel,
Right. Yeah. I mean, the Oakland A's, they were good. I mean, we all saw Moneyball. That was a fun movie. But yeah, I don't think that they're just mad because they're losing their last sports franchise.
Yeah.
Like this.
Oh, Oakland.
They're done.
Yeah, I mean, Oakland, like, what I want to say to whoever the powers that be, or maybe it was London Breed, the one who dancing at Tony. I'm like, listen, you guys lost the Raiders. You lost the A's. You fucking lost In-N-Out Burger.
Wow.
What? Hello, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's change direction, change course here. Like, something is not working in this place that you lost the Raiders and In-N-Out Burger and the A's. And it's all in the span of like 2.5 years. Like, well, hello, change of course, everybody.
Yeah.
What's going on? Yes.
Although
London Breed,
in Oakland, there's a lot of, I think it's called biffing or something like that, where you just walk around and smash car windows and grab that sweater computer out of the back.
Oh, so that's a burgeoning industry.
Is that what it's called? What happened to me?
Something. Oh, sorry. To hear.
See if you can, that happened
It
to
did
Chris.
happen to me,
Can
but-
you
Oh,
find
God,
London Breed talking about just feeling the music,
groove?
the groove, feeling the groove?
When that music hits, I gotta.
Well, look, we don't have. I guess what it is, we don't have In-N-Out Burger, and we don't have the A's, and we don't have the Raiders, but we have Tony, and we swapped them all out for Tony, and we're sticking with our decision.
Great.
That's great.
I will say, I love Vegas. I love Vegas. So if there's if there's more sports in Vegas, the more excuse for me to go there and have a great time.
I agree.
Yeah.
So actress Angie Harmon from Law and Order.
Yeah.
So she put out a post because she was hanging out with her family. She ordered some Instacart to be delivered. Right.
Oh yeah.
And she hears a gunshot outside in the front. Her family runs out there and they see her dog shot. And the dog dies.
Yeah.
With the Instacart driver going, hey, this dog attacked me. I had to shoot him. And kind of, according to her, he was kind of boasting about it. Like, oh, yeah, I shot your dog. I shot your dog. But she says no bite marks, nothing on him, like no clothes torn or anything like that. This dog's not known to attack. So they're investigating right now because her Ring camera had been charging inside for this particular delivery.
Aha.
So there's no footage of anything. So it's just everybody's word.
All right. Well, it's weird that the delivery guy's packing heat. Where was this? I gotta find out where it is because
Charlotte,
carry.
North Carolina.
All right. It's weird that he's packing heat. On the other hand, you probably shouldn't order food and then have your dog in the front yard.
Absolutely.
You got to keep him in the back. Everyone likes their dog, and their dogs are always cool with them, but sometimes they react differently with other people. This seemed like an overreaction. On the other hand, he's probably not good enough to just shoot him in the paw.
Right.
That'd be tough. And a warning shot's probably not good for dogs.
Right.
You probably just kill a bird, and the dog keeps chewing on you.
Falls down on the dog.
Lands on the dog. So, seems like an overreaction. On the other hand, you got to take some responsibility. Like if you have a barky dog and it's running around the front yard and you ordered some Grubhub,
right?
And you got to kind of make sure they're in the back. Also, you know who she's married to?
I don't.
Clint Eastwood.
That's right. She's married to Jason Sehorn.
The football player.
Thank
Former
you.
football player.
Chris, when did you go gay?
Years ago.
Come on, Jason Sehorn. Jason Sehorn was the last white cornerback to play in the league, pretty much. Return punts, blah, blah, blah. Jason Sehorn and Angie Harmon are the two best-looking people to ever mate.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, you take a look at 28-year-old Angie Harmon and 28-year-old Jason Sehorn, you're like, you guys must procreate.
America's Beckham and Posh Spice.
I
Far and
would,
away.
yeah, and I think I would argue maybe a notch above.
Wow. Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough to outdo Beckham and Posh, but I think they do.
They're a hotter couple.
I think they are. Sehorn's hot, but Angie is hotter than Posh. Mm-hmm. Especially back in the day, and I was happy to see that when they were doing this story on TMZ that the kids were nice looking, because there's nothing worse.
Look at him. Look at him.
Look at him. Look at him.
Come on. Run for president. I'd vote for both of you.
Right. Yeah, he looks like James Marsden or something. But also, he played cornerback in the NFL. So, you got to be world class in the athletic department to play corner in the NFL. And then she's her, you know.
She's incredible.
So someone should just tell him to relax.
I know this is going backwards and maybe it goes nowhere, but I need to know, with this Instacart delivery driver, you have groceries in your hands. You're walking up a driveway. Mm-hmm. At what point are you not yelling out your dog? You're not doing anything. If I assume that you're ordering groceries for the week at least. That's 2 hands of groceries. That's a lot of bags in your hand. So you're putting them down. Do you have your gun in your hand already? Because all of this doesn't connect for me in a lot of ways. I feel like this guy wanted to shoot a dog. I gotta call it out.
I like the concealed carry stuff. Statistically, crime goes down in those places, even though people hate the gun part of it, but it works. But I also have the theory that when you have a gun and it's on you, you're going to want to bring it out every once in a while. And this guy seemed like he was quick to do that. And you're right, Instacart probably had the groceries, maybe got out. Is there any... Would there be a situation where he couldn't get back into his car safely and, shut the door?
Great question.
And worst case scenario, you have a week of groceries to live off of. If the car stalls and the phone runs out of battery, a snowstorm hits.
Right, you're trapped in there.
You're all right.
Yeah.
And those guys eat top shelf food. They're so good looking.
I could barely
clean.
Survive on that organic oat bread.
There is no Chef Boyardee canned bullshit. and Angie Harmon and fucking Jason Sehorn, that's all high-end grass-fed beef, all the best, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. It's like, you ever taste $20 jerky? Well, now you're going to find out. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah. And then not a bunch of powdered milk and, high C or anything. Just top of the line, clean living. Yeah, you could live healthy in that car.
100%.
For a while.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. We saw that.
Your Honor. Yeah, okay.
We have London Breed
great.
Let's go.
explaining what happened.
The fact is, there was something that was really monumental that occurred, and that is Tony, the original members.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on.
Original members.
Hold on a second. What year was that? But you have to understand, she's telling everyone else to shelter in place.
Right.
Lock it down and keep your mask on. But we need to understand that Tony, the original members, have come back together once again.
The first 3.
This is what I've said a million times is this is how you would speak if you were an endangered species. Like if you didn't have any predators in the wild, you would talk this way. That's the thing. That's the black woman mare syndrome. You don't...
I see what you're saying.
You can't come after me.
Right.
So I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Gavin Newsom has to apologize and make excuses. She's like, Tony.
Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, yeah.
Was in town.
I thought when you were explaining it, I was outraged. But now after hearing her...
So we got to understand her explanation.
I get it now.
All right, let's hear it. Sorry.
and that is Tony, the original members, who have not performed in public for, I believe, at least over 20 years.
Oof.
They are just really some of the most incredible artists in the history of this country and the Bay Area in particular. And the fact that that is getting lost here is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
So yes,
So
Great.
Even though
Back to the white woman.
What year is that from? And by the way, they still don't have the part where she felt the groove in her, Byron. But
what a compliment to Tony.
There's nothing better than a scroll on the news being like thousands trapped under bridge, and she's
Right.
like, guys, it's the reunion we've been thinking about.
you have to understand, there's probably the question, but the question is like, do you think it's okay for you to be out in this environment when everybody else has been asked to shelter in place? And her answer was Tony.
True. Although I will say, if I was in her shoes and I got to go see like a print of Kill Bill at the New Beverly on film, I'd be like, guys, it's Kill Bill. I kind of want to
Tarantino.
Yeah. So I do have sympathy here because I have my things that are important to me.
Right.
And
What?
She seems like a big
what
fan.
year?
Yeah.
What month and year is this, Byron? But go ahead, play this one. Sorry.
This is nitpicking. This is really unfortunate. And let me tell you, when the spirit moves you because you are watching history in the making, Bay Area royalty perform, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to turn around and look for where my mask is or look to see and make sure I'm picking up a drink. I'm just going to let the spirit move. This is nitpicking.
Oh.
This is
Do
really
you but you understand this can only come from you playing the race card your entire life because you speak like it's like when Zsa Zsa Gabor slapped the cop.
Oh, that's
it's
right.
like she's so used to being treated a certain way that the guy went license and registration. She's like, I do not have it, darling. And he's
how
like,
dare
I'm
you.
sorry, I need your license. She's like, I've never been. And she's like, she slapped him. Like, if you ever talked to people that grow up a certain way or wear a certain way or never haven't been told to fuck off or to get in line or whatever, and you tell them, they're like, what? They just speak. She's speaking like a child from who grew up in some stately manner.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Going, what do you mean you don't have a butler? Who makes your eggs? You know what I mean? They're like, we're poor.
yeah.
So it's a part-time butler? like they literally, she gets to cruise because if anyone gives her shit, then she'll play the race card. So they don't edit themselves.
Incredible.
Right. Meanwhile, I'm spraying my Pringles with disinfectant.
Right.
Right?
Well, not only that, she's the one who told you had to spray your Pringles with disinfectant.
Right.
That's the scary part. But she wants to check out Tony.
It's
She's not going
still-
to worry about her mask when the fucking spirit has moved.
The band started playing. You expect me to just turn around and put on a mask? No.
All right, so that's an example of what.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
It's unfucking believable. What year was that? When was it from, Byron? But
yeah, was that in the
also,
heart
we can
of...
probably now.
Wait, I'm sorry to ask, but like, I didn't do much stand-up during the years. I tried to do some Zoom and whatever. I didn't know Tony was touring
I didn't know either.
during this time. Fascinating.
It's fascinating. Yeah, now if it's September 21 is when that was done. School's probably still closed, but Tony's in town and she wants to enjoy herself. I don't know, Byron, you might be able to find Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom, he's heterosexual and he's a white dude and he's over 6 foot and he's got to walk shit back.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to do I like at a certain point when she got agitated that the person was asking her the question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I
he
love
didn't
it.
understand the gravity of the Tony situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't tee her up with like, well, how was the groove?
It's a band. It's a band. She didn't do like, I'm sorry, but when my son falls into a raging river, I don't have time to put a mask on. It wasn't that. It was I was out getting my fucking party on. And I don't have time for the mask when the groove hits you. But if you don't put your mask on at the San Francisco airport, I will definitely tackle your ass and arrest you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, I would choose French Laundry over Tony any day of the week, and I just want to go on record for that.
Me
Same.
too.
Yeah.
Same.
You have Newsom defending San Francisco cleanup. I don't think that's it. But it would be defending the French Laundry, I think is what you'd want there, Byron. All right, one more news story.
Sure.
He got busted at the French Laundry and had to kind of walk it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, when the prefix menu takes you away,
Right.
you've got to you don't have time for the mask when those oyster and pearls cone come to your table. There's no way.
On that block of rock salt.
Exactly.
Listen, everyone thinks everything's wrong with me all the time, but there is a very fucking... Did you see Fonnie Willis up on the stand? Crazy black DA from Atlanta. No. She was up on the stand getting questioned. She's like, I'm not on trial. You're on trial. You get out of my face, bitch. She's yelling at the judge because she's so used to not being spoken to in this way that she probably torpedoed the case. But she was just up there going, fuck off.
Yeah, you're deflecting, but with idiotic reasoning.
But it's because they're not used to being questioned that way because they can call everything racism. And so they don't build up that sort of... First off, you have to have a contrite bullshit lying gene. You know what I mean? Where you just go, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah. You don't mean any of it. You'd go do it again. Oh, we have Newsom apologizing for the French Laundry. So let's see if he cites Tony, or if he just says something. He'll do an excuse with an apology. Yeah.
That a few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. My wife and I, a friend that I've known for almost 20 years.
Oh, that's different.
And a friend that had, put a lot of time and energy into his 50th birthday. It was in Napa, which was in the orange status, relatively loose compared to some other counties. It was to be an outdoor restaurant, and we started the program started at 4 o'clock. It was one of those early reservations. I got there a little bit late at 4:30, and as soon as I sat down at the larger table, I realized it was a little larger group than I had anticipated. And I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down,
the walking back.
I should have stood up.
Right.
And walked back, got in my car, and drove back.
All right. So here's what I'm saying. Just compare and contrast. Just compare and contrast heterosexual white dude who's the governor having to fucking walk it back versus fuck y'all, suck my Tony. That's what I'm talking about. That's a perfect example.
She would have been like, hey, Chef Keller had his tiramisu coming out, and I haven't seen this tiramisu in forever.
Jesus Christ.
I had an opportunity to go to a 3-star Michelin restaurant with friends. It's phenomenal. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
right.
That's what
we're saying.
But
well, that's what he's thinking. But he will get crucified if he doesn't do it, and she won't.
Right.
That's the whole thing. So she gets to do whatever the fuck
it's like
she
the
wants.
not clapping at the Oscars.
That's
now. Can you bribe? Because it seems like you can bribe London Breed with Tony tickets, or they can control her to get work with.
If I was working
athletics
in the Oakland Underground, and I wanted to get some business, you know what I mean? I needed a favor.
From those permits?
Some permits favor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could just get the Tony. Or I could kidnap one of the Tonys.
Wow.
And make a video with me holding a pistol under his chin, you know what I mean? And he's in an undisclosed warehouse, and he's going to eat a bullet if I don't get my permit. Now, I need a liquor license, I need a nightclub permit, I need a dock permit.
Yeah.
I need all the fucking permits, and I need them now. Otherwise, one of the Tonys is going to eat a bullet.
There you go. I'll tell you, the groove of that gun barrel, different.
That would work. That's the last groove he's going to hear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tony. I don't think that.
I don't think so. Yeah. She is also, I believe, Byron, you can do this one. You can find this one, which is awesome. She also is the one who, when some black guy hung up a bunch of rings at the park and he was using them on a tree for exercise, she decided there were nooses and she decided that this is a hate crime and that we had to get the Department of Justice involved. And then the black guy who hung up the circles, the rings to exercise off of, said, I hung those up and everyone uses them for exercise. She announced it wasn't over and was still going to get the Department of Justice.
Yeah, that was a different mayor.
Oh, that was which one was that one?
Libby Schaff.
Oh, she's of Oakland?
Yeah,
No.
she was Oakland. She was mayor of Oakland as well.
She was, and then London Breed
Right.
became. Oh, so she predated her. Couldn't have been by much.
No, she was right before London.
So it was another nut job who we put in charge of Oakland. Listen, here's what I want to say. Everyone thinks my whole life I'm old.
Oh,
I grew up. Yeah.
Sorry, London is mayor of San Francisco. Libby Schaff is mayor of
Oakland.
Oakland. Yeah.
All right, so there you go. It's all going to work. Here's my point. I grew up, and everyone just went, if we had more women in power, we'd be living in a utopia. I don't know. I haven't signed off on that. There's a lot of women in power in a lot of cities, and they're all fucking falling apart. So I'm not going to draw a straight line between that and this. That was always the thing. It was always like, if we just had more women in positions of power, boom. Maybe, but I'd say it's up to the individual.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do a blanket statement. San Francisco and Oakland don't seem to be working out.
Chicago, too.
Chicago doesn't seem to be working, or didn't seem to be working out as well. And there's many other cities. So let's not just assume. And also, they do this thing all the time. They go, we need more women of color in positions of. It's like, how about more competent people? Mm-hmm. Can we do that? Oh yeah, we have her news clip. This is Libby Schaff's news clip about the rings.
The Oakland Police Department has turned over the evidence to the FBI. We have to start with the assumption that these are hate crimes.
Oh, I love this.
We cannot
Yes.
take these actions
Yes.
lightly. These symbols are symbols of racial violence, and it's incumbent on all of us.
Right, you have to
have
assume
that
it's a hate
sensitivity
crime
to
before
have
we
that
Guilty
knowledge.
before it
until
is
proven
one.
innocent.
And that is why I've directed our staff to remove any such symbol of hatred, regardless of the intention of what put it there.
Intention doesn't matter.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean? So a circle
Right.
isn't it a circle?
Oh, she's walking around yelling every time a circle shows up. She's freaking out.
So if you see an orb, like let's say you pass Union 76, the gas station, and you see that big orange orb, should that be removed regardless? By the way, when they go regardless of what, it's like, no, that's all hate crimes are. It's regarding the hate crime. It's not regardless. Otherwise, we couldn't have the Olympic rings. Could we? You wouldn't have a medal.
Oh, no.
It's in the wrong shape.
Yeah. Well,
But they're
and
all
also wouldn't be
rings.
allowed to hang around my neck.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Wait, we have the guy who hung it, which is this guy cracked me up.
Oh, please.
She doesn't care, by the way.
No.
Right, he likes to climb things. He climbed up that tree, put another rope here, put another swing there. The children are having a good time with it. Right, there's actually a family of father, mother, and little child, daughter. And he'll host her up in the garden.
All right, so somebody hung stuff in a park so people could play with it, but you've decided it's a hate crime, and now we're going to get the DOJ involved, and you've talked to the Oakland or the San Francisco police. Meanwhile, Chris gets his guitar and his briefcase stolen from a rental car, and it's like, you call the cops. Like, hey, we're busy.
Yeah.
We're down at the park, and we're investigating very suspicious hoops.
We're looking for circles.
We're
There's
looking for
basketball
circles.
ones. We got to watch out. Yeah.
We got to go after hula hoops, engagement rings.
Yeah.
All formed. There's a band called Circle who sung, so I had a hit in the 60s. Anything where two ends come around and meet, we're on it.
Yeah.
Because it's all a hate crime.
Right.
But sorry to hear whatever happened with your robbery in broad daylight.
It doesn't matter. We got to
sounds-
find those hoop guys.
There's a band called the Circle Jerks. Punk band from the 80s. We're looking into them pretty deeply because they got the word circle.
Perfect circle. That
Perfect
90s
circle.
Sure. Maynard, James Keenan, throw him in the clink. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. That's good. Announce it's a hate crime before you investigate black guys putting hoops up in the park.
For exercise.
And then by all means, cut them down so they can't exercise with them, and then talk about the historical injustices from parks and hoops. By the way, we voted these people in, everybody.
That's the thing, right?
You know what I say all the time to these people? She's not in charge of parks. She's in charge of the whole fucking city. She's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Schools and cops and sanitation and the fire department. That brain that you just saw on display is in charge of the whole place. They're in charge of when the Golden Gate Bridge gets repainted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she's in charge of all of it.
Yeah.
That head is in charge of all of it.
Have you seen Tony live?
That's true.
Well, if that's the case, then and she's only able to focus on one thing, and that's exercise in the park being illegal, then there's no, like, how are you going to, like, get school lunches for kids who can't afford them if you can't eat, like, I don't know. You're focusing.
It's all about the park.
It's all about those parks, man.
All right.
Beautiful days.
Let me give you a plug. Life Rules, very positive, very funny stand-up special on YouTube. Mike Glazer. Thanks for swinging by. Fresno Tower Theater, I'll be there doing stand-up Friday at 8 o'clock. And then Bakersfield, the historic Fox Theater, be doing stand-up there on Saturday. I think Dawson's making that run with us. Chicago, Illinois, the Den Theater doing stand-up there. That'll be April 19th and 20th. Salt Lake City, Wise Guys, May 3rd and 4th. Just go to amcroll.com for all the live stuff. Mike, this was fun. Come back anytime you like.
This was a real pleasure. Thank you both so much. This has been great.
Thank you.
So until next time, Mike Glazer and Adam Carolla and Tony and Chris Max Bada saying mahalo.